Rick Santorum did have a pretty good debate, though. I thought he was pretty good, and he gave a good answer here, but it was more of this terrible awkwardness where the crowd starts applauding either his answer and our support for the troops, or it would seem to me, yeah, get the gay guys out of the military. Like, either way, it's uncomfortable. Here's this. This is clip 9, Jared.
I would say any type of sexual activity has absolutely no place in the military, and the fact that they're making a point to include it as a provision within the military that we are going to recognize a group of people and give them a special privilege in removing don't ask, don't tell, I think tries to inject social policy into the military, and the military's job is to do one thing, and that is to defend our country. We need to give the military, which is all volunteer, the ability to do so in a way that is most efficient in protecting our men and women in uniform, and I believe this undermines that ability.
You can kind of sense that as the crowd gets louder, he seems to take on more of a, he likes what he's saying more and more as the crowd gets going and gets that smirk.
When you're a hater and you have all these other haters affirming what you're doing, it's pretty
Rick
exciting.
Santorum, full out bigot, hates gay people,
Yeah,
bigot, no question. No,
he's a hater.
We love to.
I actually don't even think that he did that well with that answer. To me, when I see that, he's still bumbling and stumbling the same way he was in the initial debates. I think it's the cheering that makes us, in retrospect, think the base liked it. But I don't even think that he's doing well.
I thought it was a good answer. I hear what you're saying. Let's hear the next part, because the next part is without cheering, and Gretchen Carlson / Megyn Kelly, who I cannot tell from one another, asks him specifically about the soldier Stephen Hill.
What would you do with soldiers like Stephen Hill? I mean, he's out.
I would just say that going forward, we would reinstitute that policy if Rick Santorum was president. Period. That policy would be reinstituted, and as far as people who are in it, I would not throw them out, because that would be unfair to them because of the policy of this administration. But we would move forward in conformity with what was happening in the past, which was sex is not an issue.
I like that we managed to find one moment where you, in a sense, agree with Rick Santorum.
I know. He answered that very well. I'm going to send him a check. No, I think that he answered that question in that situation, being Rick Santorum, as well as he could. But when you see the hate on parade, and I go back to it again, and you hear his answers, as erudite as he may be in one moment, it has nothing to do with he's talking about a Santorum presidency, and everything that is glossed over. Nobody is reacting to what the audience is saying.
Brian Williams, God bless Brian Williams, though, for going back and asking that question.
Yeah.
One, the initial question, and then the follow-up mention in the crowd. Just to what we've been talking about with Rick Santorum, just in case we forget, when asked about the legalizing gay marriage, Rick Santorum's famous moments, I guess, during the 2006 campaign, I believe, when he lost to Bob Casey, was talking that if we allow men and other men to marry, obviously it's only a matter of time before men start having sex with dogs. That's why we know Rick Santorum's a bigot, because that is what bigots say.
It's the logical conclusion, though,
right?
Isn't
Sure.
it? And also 3 people getting married, and people getting married to gazelles, and all that stuff would just be the natural follow.
You can't say Rick Santorum without saying former. Former senator, former presidential campaign or candidate. I think he's an also ran, and I think that he's a picture of everything that's wrong with this country. I cannot stand it.